Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on my program. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you are joining me from any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contributions on this channel. Please kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed, and also click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. In this channel, I bring information to your doorstep. I bring news from all channels, from every angle. Things that have to do about the world, things that have to do about Africa, more especially Nigeria. I bring it to your doorstep, some information that you ignore, some information that you cannot be able to come across. I look for them, I bring it to your doorstep for you to see. Every video you see on this channel is for educational purpose.
In the National Assembly as a technical advisor and, to a former Senate president. So you understand a lot of issues. Give me your understanding of how or what role the issue of religion is playing. Can a Muslim ticket or a Christian ticket fly in Nigeria of today? The youth wing of the Christian Association yesterday won and said, look, if anybody does a Christian ticket or Muslim ticket, that party will fail. What are your views?
Well, I think there's a lot of deception here, which has gathered momentum as politicians began to learn more and more of the weaknesses of ordinary Nigerians. 99% of us as ordinary Nigerians are devout Christians and Muslims. We care very deeply about personal faith. We care about the fortunes of our faith. We don't like to be attacked or affected because we are Christians or Muslims. And by and large, in most instances, our faith is safe. Politicians use faith and other forms of identity politics to race for power. This is basically what it is. And it's becoming clearer and clearer and clearer that every time politics comes in, religion surfaces as a factor. And what it does is it creates this idea that Nigerians will fight because the deputy, the vice president is not a Christian or a Muslim. We won't. We will not fight because if you go down in history, there is not a single thing that any Christian has benefited from the times when either a Christian was a president or a Christian was a vice president. There's nothing that a Muslim has benefited from because the president is a Muslim or he's a vice president. But when you hear them talk now, it's as if it's central to your being a Muslim or being a Christian if your so-called man is not in the presidency. It's nonsense. It's the most deceptive thing politicians do, and what is even more damaging is that they're making it worse now, at precisely the time when we need to have quality leadership. Good people emerge, irrespective of their faith, who would govern this country and pull it out of this the quagmire that we're in. Politicians are bringing in all these factors that are specifically targeted at giving them, the few of them, certain advantages. That's basically what it is. Like I said, Christianity does not suffer because the Christian is not, because the president is not a Christian. President Buhari has not done a single thing that has benefited a single Muslim in the last 7 years. For the entire 8 years that Obasanjo was president, not a single thing was done. And I was part of his government. I was a permanent secretary for the entire period there. I didn't see a single thing that he did that you could say specifically benefited the Christians of Nigeria. I didn't see that. And it's the same thing with all the way through. And now you hear these people talk, it has to be a Muslim ticket. The ordinary Nigerian doesn't care. That is the honest truth. Well, I'm telling you, I come from the Northwest. The Northwest is being targeted as the most populous zone, but you must get the religious balance right, you must get this right, and you must get right. And I'm telling you, I have a political party. I'm a member of the PRP. Do you know what the ordinary delegates that we got together in 3,700 people to choose who was going to fly our flag? You know who our flag is, Sean? Who our Kola Abiola. Yeah. You know how he emerged? We just simply asked ordinary folks who were delegates, all from each local government. Who do you want out of these 4 people? Some of them, I mean, most of them, excellent people. Who do you want to fly the flag? The bulk of the people are from the north. Majority are Muslims. They chose a Yoruba man from Ogun State on their own. But the politicians are playing a game with the faith and the intelligence and the future of our people.
But in truth, Dr. Akim Babaman, can you jettison or look away from religious balance in this country?
Absolutely.
Has it not been a major factor in determining?
It becomes a factor only during elections.
So those who are considering it are not lying to themselves, are they?
Well, if religion was such a dominant factor in terms of how Muslims and Christians live all the time, we'll be fighting each other every single day. Because every single day we'll be fighting over, I didn't get anything because I'm a Muslim. We come from the north. My brother here and I come from the north. He's Christian, I'm a Muslim. Every once in a while we have clashes. Sometimes a lot of these clashes that you see are between communities that are either entirely Christian or sometimes Muslim. Sometimes in a few instances like we've seen in the last few days in Adamawa, in Gombe, in Bauchi, they involve Muslims and Christians. If you go down to the bottom of it, it has nothing to do with the church or the mosque. It has to do with some communal issues.
Let me bring in Mr. Babwala.
All right.
You are a member of the APC.
Right.
How much of effect does the issue of religion balancing does for your party, or is for your party?
Well, one thing is that a political party can choose a path to winning election. And howsoever they choose, it might be their best strategy for doing that. And that path that they choose may not reflect the true spirit and intent of the Constitution. That is what is called national objective, which was formulated immediately after the Civil War. The idea behind the national objective is to reflect the true spirit of the Constitution, so that there will be a reflection of inclusiveness, diversity, sense of belonging. And the idea behind that is so that every part of Nigeria, everybody will feel this is our own. That's why when you hear politicians talking, they will say, this country belongs to all of us. Why is the mention of that? Because it is meant to reflect the spirit and intent of the Constitution. Now, when you talk about competence and you try to make the case that it overrides some of these other considerations like religion, you can pick one tribe in Nigeria, and from that tribe you can get competent people and appoint president, vice president, senate president, deputy senate president, speaker, deputy, and all the DGs or parastatal in that one tribe, and they will be competent and they will rule the country effectively. But does that reflect the spirit of the Constitution? Now, when you bring it down to our political party, you see, political parties are a vehicle through which power is attained for the purposes of implementing the Constitution. There are certain things that are not expressly mentioned in the Constitution, but they are the reflection of the spirit of the Constitution. Above all is diversity, inclusiveness, cohesion, national integration, and a sense of belonging by everyone. It is not to be said, it must be seen to be in effect by the common man of the society. So how do I bring it to our party? I did a video immediately after Asuwaji emerged as the flag bearer. And in that video, I made clear my position or opinion regarding the Muslim ticket and Muslim Christian. And I laid the background that, for example, now the vice president is coming from the north. Most likely the party may move it to the northeast. But the north is one, but consists of tribes and religion. Now, because the presidential candidate is from the south and a Muslim, historically in Nigeria, it is only necessary that the vice presidential candidate should be a Christian. So some people make the case that it doesn't really matter. And some even make the case that, look, if you take a Christian, we will not win election. Sadly enough, those who advocate that are stakeholders that are supposed to promote that and then put their heads and their hearts to make sure it works. Because it happened just 2 weeks ago when the party chairman said, I make a determination, this is the consensus candidate. And the party, they say party is supreme. But governors came together and said, no, we don't believe in that. For the purposes of cohesion, it has to go to the south. And they made clear, they talked about fairness, equity, and justice. Why did they do that? They are trying to reflect the spirit of the Constitution, even though it is not in the Constitution. So it behoves of the same set of people to look inward, and now that it affects their own region, to say, we should even show that charity much more at home. Let me tell you something, if you don't mind. Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sardona of Sokoto, was the father of the Northernization philosophy and agenda. And he built that philosophy and agenda on the notion that a Northerner, irrespective of his religion, tribe, is a Northerner and has access to equal opportunity with others for the purposes of shared prosperity. During his time, he demonstrated that in leadership, there was no distinction between Christians and Muslims, Sardona. And that is why around the time, the North, even the British government, could reckon with that. Over a period of time, this philosophy got diluted by politicians because of selfish interests. So much so that now there is a division. That, for example, Bwala will be needed to pursue the course of the Northern agenda. But when it comes to sharing of equal opportunity, then my brothers in the North will say, Bwala, whether expressly or impliedly, you can get it, because it's a game of numbers. I expect that the governors are the ones that will say, look, for equality, for equity, it should be a Northern Christian, and we will be on the field.
All right, so you don't agree with a Muslim ticket?
I do not agree, but let me make the point. The decision of the vice presidential candidate is absolute with the presidential candidate. Nobody can change his decision. And the choice of who he chooses is discretionary.
But can the party prevail upon him?
No, the party can suggest, but the discretion is absolutely his own. But what happened is that now everybody is engaging. We are all providing facts and information that will help him in making a decision. And in fact, in my view, it is not so much of Asiwaju, because he has demonstrated diversity all through his life. Look at Lagos, his wife is a pastor. He doesn't have that problem. If my northern leaders say this is a Christian candidate, Asiwaju will recommend that you take him, he will take him. And that is why, in my view, Mr. President, who has in 2014, unequivocally said, Muslim ticket cannot work, this is the time for him to balance.
So let me ask.